Welcome, everybody. My name's Chris. I'm here with Joe. And
Hello, everyone.
yeah, well, you have joined the What's New at CIS Abroad, your partner in education abroad. And we have populated this presentation for you. It'll probably take right around 30 minutes. With student photos. So this is one from our students in South Korea who took part in a traditional crafting class at the Bukchon Traditional Craft Center. So we've really tried to give you some really nice photographs of what's happening now. So on to some introductions. I think some of you know us, some of you do not. So we are going to tell you where we studied abroad, where we worked abroad, our last international trip, and our next international trip. And you can read a little bit about our interests here. So I studied abroad in Paris, France. I'm still in touch with my wonderful homestay family. I worked abroad in the Peace Corps in Mali, West Africa. My last international trip was last week, so I'm still a little bit jet lagged. I was in Barcelona, Casablanca, and Marrakesh. So it was Marrakesh, Morocco, my last stop. My next international trip will likely be Costa Rica this coming April. And I also want to say that my kids have studied abroad 4 times on either CIS programs or other provider programs. So I feel like I live the job. Off to you, Joe.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe DeBeck, the Vice President of International Operations here at CIS Abroad. I studied abroad in Kenya and in Oman in undergrad, and then in Senegal in grad school. I worked abroad for about 5 years in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan, after graduating from undergrad. Last time I was abroad was in November. I had the great pleasure of traveling with our partners to South Korea. I also visited Japan, all of our international partners there. Had a blast with our students in both Japan and South Korea. Such a pleasure to be on site with students. Next international trip coming up, we've never done this before. The Smith-DeBeck family is going on a cruise. We're headed to the Caribbean in February. In about a month, we'll be in the Bahamas and Jamaica. Not the way I've traveled in the past, but I'm kind of looking forward to just kicking back with a cocktail and not having to drive the family all around. So I'll let you know how it goes.
I just noticed that my name says Joe DeBeck too under my photo. I guess we have 2 Joe DeBecks here. Do you see that too, Joe? Cool.
You're Chris Holloway.
I'm Chris Holloway, but I'm also Joe DeBeck today. I love it. The agenda that we have today, just a little introduction and refresher, and then we're going to kind of go through what's new from some things from some programming perspectives, risk management, and some resources for you, and then we'll have a wrap up. And this fantastic photo is our spring students on site in Costa Rica, and they participated in some welcome activities at the Universidad Veritas in San Jose, our partner, and they clearly had a great time. And that is a young gentleman named Billy from Elizabethtown College doing the limbo, and I don't think I've ever gotten that low, so you go, Billy. So a little bit about us. Why do we exist? Why do we exist as a company in the international education sphere? We believe in sparking growth, and we envision a more connected and compassionate world that has been transformed through individuals, me, you, your students, that have traveled and lived and learned abroad. And this is our company this summer when we brought everybody together at our offices here in East Hampton, Massachusetts. So if that's why we exist, how do we actually do it? So this is really our mission. And we think we really add value as educators first, who happen to be good at business, and not business leaders who happen to want to make money in education abroad, because we really think about the value that you get from us. So we look at affordability and price point. We look at academic relevance of the courses that we can offer your students and the paths. We look at cultural support and cultural programming. Joe will talk a little bit more about that, as well as support. And we're really committed to you and your students as being that really wonderful partner. The photos here are a game in Barcelona. You might have recognized those colors, and a mangrove reforestation project in Thailand. So now on to the good stuff, what you've all been waiting for. We have a new, put it in quotes, website. We have HubSpot as a back end now of our website, and it is beautiful. So you'll kind of notice a facelift there. So the navigation that many of you have said you really, really value is the same, but you're going to notice a few new features. One of which is a new and improved program finder. So you can search by term, program type, specific major, or larger department. And different features. So if you pull up summer, you're going to get study, intern, service learning, study plus intern, and then you're going to see recommendations based on categories. You can look for LGBTQ friendly, you can look for sustainability, you can look for most affordable. And then also we have revamped our consulting services part of our organization, and you'll really be able to see how it works and what value we can bring in this growing part of what we do. From a custom program standpoint, so we define a custom program as any element on site we're tweaking for you. So it might be a course you want us to teach to your students and source faculty for. It might be faculty that you want to bring abroad. It might be dates or what have you, inclusions. And so all these locations that you see here are where we can tailor a program to meet your needs. And the ones that have a little star, so Costa Rica and Italy, and Thailand, and soon Japan, we can really do any type of faculty-led program. So it's 100% customized to you. And you can learn more on our website. And I'm going to hand it over to Joe to talk a little bit more about our updated risk management policies.
Thank you. We take risk management very seriously at CIS Abroad. We have invested a lot of time and energy and financial resources in risk management and risk mitigation. So a few updates are, we have more staff hours, more people everywhere around the world. We do it a little differently. We employ our own staff. These staff are not attached to our partner universities. They're not a tour guide who wears a CIS Abroad hat. They're ours, which means we hope that we don't have to do this, but we can call them in the middle of the night and wake them up and have them go over to the hospital if the student needs them. They are our staff, so we can train them, and we have invested a lot in training. We're doing a lot right now in mental health first aid training. Our staff are CPR trained. They have gone through a lot internally and then also with professionals locally to make sure that they can meet our students' needs when things aren't going right on programs. It's essential, it's so important, and we love that we have direct access to them. We don't have to go through anyone else. They're ours, and we manage them and pay them directly. Let's see what else. So our Let's Talk program, I'll focus on that for a second. We've invested in what we call the CIS Abroad Let's Talk. Some of you may have something similar on your home campuses. This is mental health that is available on demand. We wanted to create something that had very few barriers. We didn't want students to have to pay anything. We didn't want them to have to go through a lengthy process to schedule an appointment. All they do is click on our counselor's calendar, find a time that works for them, and show up to the virtual meeting. It's something we pay for out of our own pocket. It's not tied to our insurance or anything, but it was important to us to create a way to get students mental health help that was as easy to access as possible. It's modeled after Cornell University's Let's Talk program, and it's been a great success for our students and for our staff. Our staff can use it as well. If they're encountering a challenging situation that is somewhat unprecedented and they want a mental health professional's help and guidance as they navigate it, then they can also use the service. It's wonderful. And one last thing, we've increased the benefits through our CISI medical insurance. We have made it a lot easier when a student is in the hospital for parents to get over and access them. A student only needs to be in the hospital for 24 hours now for a $5,000 benefit to kick in. And we've seen more use on that one. So it was important to us to increase that particular benefit under our insurance. All right, moving on. Going to talk a little bit now about our programs and our program inclusions. Our comprehensive program package includes a whole bunch of things. So tuition, of course, great housing. Housing is so important. Housing can really make or break a student's study abroad experience. You'll find if you really dig into the details that a lot of other providers' premium housing is our standard housing. We try to be the most affordable or right around the lowest cost program provider in many of the places where we operate, and we're doing that with premium housing. Housing, particularly in Barcelona and Florence, is very hard to come by, but we've got some great housing. We focused on that because we know it's going to delight our students. It's going to mean that they have a quality time abroad if they feel comfortable, if they feel relaxed, if they feel like they're in a place where they want to live, then it's just going to make everything so much easier. It's going to make hitting those goals that we all want them to hit possible. We have advising, we have airport pickup, we have orientations. We do orientations before they arrive on site live, virtually. We have an online pre-departure orientation that they work through on their own. They also have a robust in-person orientation when they arrive on site. We want students to have information. We want them to get it. And we know students don't necessarily read everything we send them, so we hit them in multiple ways with the information that they're going to need to get abroad successfully and then to succeed while they're abroad. We have loads of cultural activities built in. Those site directors that I mentioned before, they're doing a whole bunch with students. I have a slide that focuses on that coming up in just a second. Official transcripts come with all of our programs, and that excellent health and safety emergency support that I mentioned before is there on all of our programs, something that I hope students don't have to tap into, but if they need it, it's there, and we focused on it. The local life. So we're going to talk about what our site directors do on the fun side of things. In every location where we operate around the world, our staff have fun, engaging, educational excursions and activities for our students. We want our students to learn about the local culture that surrounds them, and we want them to get beyond the superficial. This isn't a tourist experience. This is a study abroad experience. We want them to really understand meaning and value to the people that surround them. So our site directors represent that, and they're able to go on these deep dives in every location to help our students develop a greater understanding of all that surrounds them and draw meaning from it. Oftentimes it's possible to have an encounter and come away confused, not really know what just happened. Our site directors are the translators. They're there to really help make meaning of all these experiences that students are having on a daily basis. We call it the local life. Our local life activities are centered around different themes. Those themes are here, really language, history, food, sports, art, media, music, entertainment. These are the lenses that we approach culture through, and that's consistent around the world. I know students are going to have a very different experience depending on where they go in the CIS Abroad world, but there are these themes that really tie the experience of CIS Abroad, study abroad programs together. All right. Maymester. We heard from several of our US university partners that they needed more international program options in May. So here you go, here it is. We're delivering more Maymester programs. Just talked with one of our partners this morning that was delighted to hear that we had these. They're going to put them on their website right away. It's awesome. Our Maymester in Barcelona program, this is with UAB. UAB is a institution that is known to many of you. They have Maymester options now. We're excited to be able to deliver that for our students. Also, Maymester on the Italian coast. This is the Sant'Anna Institute program that has become very popular for CIS Abroad students. We have a 3-credit program there in May, and also our Maymester in Florence. So this one overlaps with our Florence Summer Session 1. They have the same dates. 3 fantastic options with quite a wide variety of academics on offer, and 3 very popular destinations for CIS Abroad. South Korea is generating a lot of attention. We're excited about it. We're so happy to see more and more students applying for our programs in Seoul. To meet the demand of students in 2024, we're going to have several options. These options are the Summer in Seoul at Sogang University. This one has an incredible offering of courses. We have Understanding Data and AI, something that we don't offer in that many places around the world, but it's here in Seoul. Business, history, gender, race, class, taekwondo, mental coaching and meditative practice, K-movies, and a whole bunch more. So this is an awesome summer experience. It's pretty low cost. It's in Seoul, great housing with really a unique selection of courses on offer. The Summer in Seoul Korean language and cultural immersion is also at Sogang. Sogang is known as the #1 Korean language institution in the world. They really print the textbooks that if you have a Korean language department, they're probably using the Sogang textbook. It's really the best in the world. But this one is language focused. The way it's structured, students will take classroom instruction in the morning, and then in the afternoon they go out with buddies and they explore the city of Seoul. They're going to get on the public transport, they'll go to the best markets, some of the best shopping centers, streets. They have different activities. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. Other times they're out and about going to different museums with a specific focus, but it's great. They get to employ their language skills in a real practical, hands-on way. They're going to come away really improving in their Korean language on this program. It's focused on immersion. And last up, our summer in Asia, Japan, and South Korea. They start in Japan. They have our fabulous 2-week summer in Japan program. That program in Japan is structured 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So they'll be there for the first 2 weeks. They'll get 3 credits in Japan. And then we package into it a night and the flight over to South Korea, and they'll have the Summer in Seoul Sogang University program then. So it's 6 weeks of instruction. They get 6 to 9 credits throughout, 3 credits in Japan, 3 to 6 credits in South Korea. So really an incredible way for them to experience Tokyo and Seoul, 2 of the best, most fantastic, most exciting cities in the entire planet. And moving on to Greece. We have a brand new partnership in Greece with the American College of Greece. They have a beautiful campus in a great neighborhood in Athens. The ACG campus housed the US Olympic team back when the Greek Olympics were taking place, the Athens Olympics. And the US invested in the sports facilities and training facilities there on campus. They have phenomenal sports facilities. Apparently, lane number 4 is the lane to swim in. That's where Michael Phelps swam, and that was the famous summer of Michael Phelps. So everyone wants to swim in lane number 4. They're a very well-respected institution. What I love about them is they have over 1,000 courses in English annually. So there is something for every study abroad student here, every major, really top quality academics, great housing. And Athens is one of those cities where it's all about location. If any of our students have any Greek family, they will be proud of the address where the students are living, because it really is the best neighborhood in the city of Athens. It's one that a lot of people wish that they lived in. Fun fact, our CIS Abroad site director in Greece, Evinia, is our mental health counselor. So she's very good at meeting students' needs, helping them to adjust and supporting them throughout their time in Greece. She has made a career out of mental health, and that's what she does when she's not taking care of our students. So it's really a great combination for our students. They're well looked after. If you have an honors program, your honors students would be able to take honors courses at ACG. There'll be a special honors designation on their transcript if they elect to take the honors courses there. All right, now intern in Barcelona.
I found this on the web.
Oop, Siri found something for me on the web for intern in Barcelona. We're building more internship programs around the world, and I'm going to talk with you a little bit today about the intern in Barcelona program. If students want to build their resume, if they want some hands-on experience, they want to work with a real company, they want to perfect their Spanish in a professional setting or clarify their career goals, then this is definitely the program for them. They're going to live in our student residences. I mentioned before that we've really focused on housing, quality housing. In Barcelona, we have it dialed in, and our interns will live alongside our study abroad students. Right now, we have them in Aparto. If any of you are familiar with the student residences in Barcelona, we're using that property right now. It's fabulous. These are purpose-built student accommodations with great community spaces and easy access to the Barcelona public transportation system. Our interns will be spread throughout the city of Barcelona, but they'll have easy access to it on the
Something went wrong. Please try again.
I'm not sure, my technology is going crazy over here. Sorry about that. We have our robust local life cultural discovery program included in the internship. So what I had mentioned before about the cultural deep dives with our site directors, that's not just study abroad. Our intern programs get to experience that as well. Our intern in Barcelona students will join Nicole, our fabulous site director in Barcelona, on all of the cultural outings and adventures. Our excursions will be available to them. We also encourage all of our interns to take part in our Working Across Cultures micro-credential for credit. Those who enroll in this micro-credential will work closely with our faculty member, the fabulous Ginger Sheridan. They submit assignments that are reviewed by Ginger. She guides them through their learning and really helps to connect the cultural dots. If an intern were to intern without reflecting, without guidance, some things may be missed. Ginger really does a great job of helping them understand more and get more meaning out of what they're experiencing in the workplace through the reflections and through the guidance that she provides. It's a fabulous combination. Next up is our semester and summer in Barcelona, Business and Creative Industries. If you have graphic design, fashion, photography, digital animation, business, or entrepreneurship, then this is a fabulous program for you to consider sending your students on. Our partner LCI has a brand new campus. The ribbon cutting ceremony will be in early 2024. I think it's next month. It's coming soon. They're in a fabulous location in a purpose-built building that has gorgeous laboratories, gorgeous places for our students to learn and to work and to connect. The residence halls that I mentioned before that all of our Barcelona students will stay in are in this neighborhood. So students actually should be able to walk in between the residence hall and LCI. Public transportation's right there if they need it, but it's just a fabulous setup. This boutique university will help students build the skills and connections. It's very entrepreneurial, very hands-on approach in their academics. And the students who have been on the LCI program so far have really loved it. It's a unique option. Program discounts. CIS Abroad has been known for having affordable programs for a very long time. This fall, we're even more affordable because of these $1,000 discounts that we have in place on all of the programs that you see here. Also, we're seeing an increase in interest in full year programs. It's something really exciting. For the longest time, it was all about shorter and shorter, but we're seeing an uptick in students who want to go abroad for a full year. So to help them, we are giving a $1,500 discount off of the full year program price. We're also putting together housing and insurance in between the 2 semesters at no additional charge. So something for students to consider, particularly in Asia, we're seeing a lot of interest in that. And last up for me, before I pass it back, new scholarships. We have new scholarships for programs that we've rolled out. Please encourage your students to apply for these scholarships. We're focusing really on diversity, sustainability, and financial need. I love the first generation student scholarship that we have out there, being first generation myself. Lovely to see any possible way that CIS Abroad can help students get abroad. And these are one way that we're doing it. Encourage your students to apply for those, please. Oh, I'm still up, actually. It's on to Canny. CIS Abroad has signed on to the Climate Action Network International Education Accord. We're making commitments to be a green company, and we're contributing to a more sustainable world. We're encouraging other providers and all of our partner universities at home in the US and abroad around the world to consider signing on to the Canny Accord as well. Check it out if you haven't already. Everyone should sign on. Not only are we committing to being a green organization, we're also identifying leaders abroad, around the world. Check out our top green campuses on our website to learn more about some of our top green partners in the world that we operate with. CIS Abroad has created recently a part-time position that focuses on sustainability within CIS Abroad. There are big things to come here at CIS Abroad for sustainability and for green initiatives, and we're excited to be pushing those initiatives forward. Some green facts from our top green campuses. Just wanted to draw your attention really quickly to Scotland. How amazing is it that Edinburgh, Napier, and the University of Stirling are committed to achieving net zero in the next 6 years? Wouldn't that be fabulous to see more and more US institutions committing to becoming net zero? Amazing for students to be there while the campus is undergoing all this change. They can learn so much about environmental sustainability right there on the campus. All right, now it's over to you. Thanks, Chris.
You bet. Thanks, Joe. So a little about learning outcomes and something Joe mentioned, the micro-credential. In terms of our learning outcomes, each of our programs, so study, intern, or service learning, have learning outcomes specific to the program model. So we're evaluating academic, cultural, personal, and professional outcomes to give a well-rounded assessment of the learning that's occurring. And we do this to evaluate the effectiveness of our program. We do have education as a part of Education Abroad, right? And we know that students learn an incredible amount through their study abroad experience, and we want them to be able to reflect and articulate that. So through this assessment, we're able to capture those outcomes, and we can share those outcomes with partners like you. So you also have a document that you can show the learning that's happening with your students when they're abroad. This next shot is just a little sample of what one of these learning outcomes report. If you go and submit CIS Abroad learning outcomes into Google, you'll see this page on our website and you can read one of these reports. And if you send a sort of a critical mass of students through us, we're happy to generate one of these specifically for your students. So a micro-credential, how do micro-credentials relate to this? So everybody on our programs submits a learning outcome survey so we can make sure learning is happening on our programs. But a micro-credential really offers proof of learning outcomes that's a lot more specialized, usually more affordable and faster to obtain. It's about 10 hours worth of work over the course of a program. And it's in this current climate where everybody wants skills, there's a real shortage of skills. It's really invaluable to students and it kind of meets them where they're at in terms of skill development. You can see here that our micro-credentials are based on NACE competencies. So the National Association of Colleges and Employers really have delineated these 8 basic competencies which businesses need, organizations need to have in their employees. And so everything we're doing here in the micro-credentials is really looking at these competencies. We have 4 different micro-credentials, so one mapped to each program type. Cross-cultural agility for semester, working across cultures for intern, global citizenship, which really talks a lot about the UN Sustainable Development Goals for service learning, and then the newest one, which is global agility, which some of us on staff did last summer. It was really fascinating to see that I still have a lot to learn despite my many years in international ed for our short-term programming. And again, we really encourage your students to take advantage of these. They are free. We love to showcase evidence of this learning. You can read these. The middle one there is my favorite, just warms the cockles of my heart. So these are actual students from this past cohort really talking about what they learned, why they learned it. And it's really pleasurable to know the depth of the learning that's happening. We're recording this so you can go back and read all of that should you wish to. So a little bit about our consulting side of the house. Our consulting services really focus on supporting you institutionally. So really looking to make sure you have the right people in the right positions, a good strategy, the type of funding models that you need to survive as an office, and the right programming tools. Whitney Longnecker is one of our recent clients, and there's a quote there for you. We also really look at overall how your office is functioning. And so recently in the consulting we did in 2023, the top reasons why people are hiring us, we find, is to help them become more efficient, to lead highly effective and strong teams as the field is growing back. That's absolutely critical. We're a collaborative field. And also to make sure that there's the training and the tools and support as we scale up to do it effectively. We do have resources and tools for you on our website. So there's free playlists, 3-minute videos of all of our programs under the advisor resource section. There's also recordings of webinars that we've done in response to needs in the field. And we also, if you contact us, we've got some available tools that you can use that we have found are helpful. Jeannie Garzon heads up our consulting division, our partner success team. So you can email her, book a 30-minute session and see how we can align some of our tools to what you might need. And I'm going to pass it over to Emily, who is the magic behind the webinar, so she can really dig into some details about the resources we have for you.
Hi, everyone. I feel like I'm like surprise mystery guest here. I'm Emily Nygaard. I'm the VP of Marketing. So I'm here to walk you through some resources that we hope will be helpful and make your job and your life a little bit easier. So we have something called our Advisor Resource Center, which you can get to on our website. If you go to Advisor Resources in the menu and then click on Advisor Resource Center, it will come up. This is just a screenshot of the top 3 things that are in there, but there's also information on our program finder tool, our affiliate program discounts. You can read more about our academic approach and some of the more nuts and bolts tools needed for advising, like our program budget sheets for program expenses and additional expenses, and then things like application deadlines. And we also have information on info sessions. So I'm going to walk you through a few things you can find in there. Our virtual info sessions. So we have 3 coming up this spring. The first one on South Korea and Japan is on Valentine's Day. And then during Black History Month, we are doing a Being Black Abroad webinar with a few, hosted by a few CIS Abroad staff members. And then the last one is on budgeting. So this came out of a need that our program enrollment coordinators were seeing. Students had so many questions, not just about finances, financial aid, but more about budgeting. How much should they budget? How much do things cost abroad? So they're gonna walk through our budget sheets, and then they have this other spreadsheet to share that students can use to help kind of budget out their program and start planning ahead of time. And then we have some marketing materials. So there's a link out to a platform called AIR where we house all of this content. So you can find things like PDFs of our print materials, top academic picks, so art and design, business, communications, each have a little flyer which links out to our blog where students can learn more about different options for that area. We have a programs folder, which has flyers for all of our programs, and then some testimonials from students, and then information about the scholarships and grants that Joe had mentioned. So I'm going to show you. So say, for example, you heard Joe talk about Greece. Sounds great. You want to add it as, you know, an official approved program on your campus. You can jump in. You can grab the summer in Greece flyer. There's also a semester one. You can say, oh, look, this humanities academic picks thing features Greece. Like, I want to send that out. And then you can also grab, there's some really nice social media images on our scholarships, grants, and then also those discounts. And I know one thing we were hearing a lot from partners was that, you know, they want to do social media, maybe they have students helping them, but it's hard to get enough like stuff to keep posting. So we have these nice video, these quick videos that you can turn into stories for all of our programs. So you could grab that for Greece, for example. And then one more thing you can get to from the Advisor Resource Center is our actual advisor portal. So this does require a login. If you log in, if you don't have one, you can reach out to your university relations rep. If you're not sure who that is, you can email me or Kent Moore and get access to that. So this will also give you access to who are your students that have applied, that are in the application process. It'll tell you their application status, and then who are your students that are on site. You'll also get access to our core syllabus library, which is new in the last couple years, but we're still trying to get the word out. It's super helpful. There's a folder for all of each of our partners. You can see the syllabi we have in there, and then if you're not seeing what you need, you can request it. There's like a simple Google form that just says, what class do you need? And then our lovely partner success manager, Janice, will reach out to them, get it for you, and just email it to you. That's it for me. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks, Emily. I love that we're giving out so much content because we know content is queen, shall I say, and hard to develop. So we're hoping that you find it useful. These are just 2 quotes. Again, as Joe said, we're really committed to first generation students. So here's a quote from the Hunter College student who was with us in Japan this past summer. And then also a student of color who got our Student of Color Scholarship and was with us in Seoul this past fall. So really that's it. We're coming in right around 36 minutes, not so bad. And really we just ask you to fill out the survey at the end because we really take your feedback to make this as useful as possible. And then Emily, do you want to take questions now or would you rather that we email them later?
There's a section in the survey at the end. If you have questions, I would put them there and then we can follow up. And then just one more thing, we have a handout about the discounts that Joe mentioned attached to this webinar, so you can grab that here as well. Yeah. Let's see, it looks like we have one question. Oh, yay, Hunter College. Nice. Isn't it awesome seeing your student like doing the thing? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, do that survey, please, and we will follow up for sure with any questions. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Happy 2024, people.